What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Shinobi Squad podcast. I'm fan service Renji.
I'm Shana Mostella.
If you're in the Midwest cosplay community, I'm sure you've heard by now of the things that went down at Anime Magic in Rosemont, Illinois just the other week. Shana and I were fortunate enough to be there at that convention. That makes this our second convention during the pandemic. In comparison to Doki Dokkan, this was a 180 flip. Doki Dokkan was kind of quiet and chill. Anime Magic was busy and full of people.
I was not ready to see that many people wandering around.
That's a lot of people for a second year con, especially with all things considered. Unlike Doki Dokkan, we're not going to give you a full-ass review about this convention. We'll just kind of hit the highs and the lows real quick because there's more important things we want to talk about regarding the convention and the hotel that it takes place.
Not sure if you guys are too familiar with what happened at the Crown Plaza. Let me just tell you, there is a story.
Crown Plaza O'Hare in Rosemont, Illinois, to be exact. We'll get into that eventually, but let's start with some Anime Magic talk. Right off the bat, when we arrived at the Crown Plaza O'Hare on Friday, it was about 1 p.m. Parking lot was already almost full. Parking there is terrible. Just the way the hotel is laid out, there's not that many convenient spots towards the front or the sides. You gotta park in the structure around back. If y'all have ever been to Anime Central or just any convention in Rosemont, those parking structures kind of get confusing because each hotel kind of has a different section of it. So just that alone, you might go to the wrong parking structure like one of my friends did. In our case, we went to the right one and the attendant working the gate almost didn't let us park there. He was like, no, parking lot's full. It's only for hotel patrons. Luckily, we were staying there, so he let us through, and he's like, okay, it's not full, but I have to save spots for the people staying at the hotel. Even in that moment, this dude was a dick. I get he was doing his job, but he was just super rude about it. It was only Friday at 1 p.m. This convention barely even began. The attitude so early in the day. I'm sure your staff has warned you it's going to be a busy weekend. Obviously, hotels know how many rooms they've sold. You should prepare your staff for that shit. Parking was a nightmare. We had to park in the lot, and then it was like a trek from the second floor of the parking structure to the hotel, not even to the front of the hotel, to the side of the hotel, because just the way it's laid out, the hotel's kind of turned sideways. It was a hassle to not have any kind of luggage cart and to park so far away. Being cosplayers, y'all know the struggle of having to haul all your shit into the hotel. They only had a few luggage carts.
Yeah, we saw a bunch of people just hoarding luggage carts even though they could not check in yet. And the hotel was very, very strict about checking in at 3 p.m. And everybody had to do that. The line got so epically long because of that. We actually got in line at around 2:45 because we were thinking, okay, they have to start lining people up, right? We saw how long this line was, and it went from the lobby and wrapped around to the back of the hallway. It took us 45 minutes to get through that line.
We were towards the front of the line, mind you. We were one of the first 30 people in line, and we were at the 45-minute mark. There was at least 4 times the length behind us.
And it just kept getting longer.
Yeah.
It's like, we understand there's a pandemic happening. We understand that it's going to be short-staffed. We understand all of that. But what was the point of having everybody check in at the same time? Attitude is key in this whole entire story because the story that I'm going to tell later has a lot to do with attitude of the staff. So the attitude of the front desk people that were trying to get people in and out were totally rude, totally dismissive, and we're just not even trying to be bothered by anyone at the time. Not till 3. That's all we kept hearing. Pandemic or not, this staff was just not ready to handle hordes of people. Working in a hotel myself, we always were told, everybody on staff was always told how many people were going to be there that day or the weekend, just so we could prepare and have enough people to service the weekend. So with all that being said, they should have been way more prepared than they were.
Again, with the attitude, I went to check in at 1, and the guy was a dick, totally dismissive, as Shana said. Then I try to ask a simple question. Okay, how does parking work? According to the website, people coming to the convention get a special price, but people staying here get in and out privileges. I'm just trying to figure out how the in and out privileges work. Can we leave right now and come back since we're already here? Do we need a room key? And the guy's like, Whenever you check in, just bring me your parking ticket. That's all you need to know. But I'm staying at the hotel, so technically can't I leave and come back? Not until you check in. You're not officially here at the hotel. I'm like,
Oh, God.
okay, so I guess I'll just linger around.
Right off the bat, we had 2 hours to linger around in this hotel, and the layout was completely horrible. The way you have to walk from the parking structure to the hotel, it's pretty much you're walking in sideways. So the nearest entrance to this hotel was already out of place. And to make things worse, you were kind of in the back of the hotel making your way up to the front lobby. So we're trekking around this hotel trying to get the feel for the layout, trying to see where people are mostly going to be as far as, cosplayers and photographers and things of that nature. We see where the lobby is finally, and there's just people everywhere. Not knowing where to go, standing in front of doorways, standing in front of hallways, entrances in and out. Everybody was just out of place and just everywhere. We couldn't even maneuver through the hallways to get to our badges because there were just so many people not knowing where to go and what to do.
The areas where the convention took place were kind of spread out and not really connected together. This hotel was not built for one large-scale event. The way they divided everything up, it was to separate groups and parties. One of the main hallways where a lot of the ballrooms were to the right side of the lobby. It's just a straight shot. Part of the convention was there. That's where the main programming was. That's where the vendors hall was and a couple other things. Where registration and a couple other panel rooms were in the middle across from the lobby, and that was downstairs. But then there was also this other area where people were chilling above that downstairs, and that was also in the middle. And then there was the weird hallway that leads to the parking lot, so people were hanging out there as well. That's where some of the hotel restaurants were. So this convention pretty much had people in those few main spots. Then you had the small-ass lobby. Then you had what I called the second lobby, I guess. It was like the second front entrance doors. Even where the elevators were annoying. You check in, and then you got to walk like a couple minutes to one direction to the only set of elevators that's at the end of the hotel by itself.
And actually, from my perspective, when you're walking from where you're parked, and even from where the elevators were, you're walking down a straight path and you don't see the lobby. Like, if you weren't paying attention, if you were brand new to this hotel, you wouldn't even noticed that there was a lobby right in front of you, because there's also a staircase that leads down to the lower level on your left. So if you didn't know any better, you could go any other way and just end up anywhere in this hotel.
Yeah, it took us a minute to figure out where the elevators were and how to even navigate this convention.
Big key element I want you guys to remember for later. A lot of the security were just walking around not knowing what was going on, but there also wasn't a lot of staff members that I noticed personally that was even anywhere to be found. Because at the hotel that I used to work at, there was always somebody around. You could spot them from miles away because they were wearing suits, they were dressed up. If you needed help for any reason, those people were there.
So with the terrible layout of the hotel, this convention was obviously crowded everywhere you went. There was people who were just hanging out in the lobby because it was hot as balls outside. I don't blame them. I try not to go outside unless I had to. But then I did end up spending a lot of my time outside because the inside was so crowded that I felt uncomfortable. I just didn't want to be around that many people the whole time. But with the layouts and where the ballrooms were, along with where the conventions chose to place their main events room and the dealer's room, there were just lines everywhere that were just blocking your path. Sometimes the lines for the main ballroom would extend to the lobby area, and then you got confused, like, is this the line for the lobby or is this line for something else? The lobby is a crossroads. It's like a four-way stop.
Yeah.
There's just traffic coming from all directions and people just crowded everywhere, and the hotel didn't set up like little stanchions to form lines.
No signs.
There was nobody directing people. Oh, this is where you check in. It was a free-for-all.
I want to mention that when we were trying to make our way to the dealer's room was right next to where the main events area was. So the line that extended from the main events area was nearby the dealer's room. And I felt bad for this one cosplayer that was at the end of that line trying to get into the dealer's room, but didn't know where the dealer's room actually was or if there was even a line for it. And I felt so bad for her because I was trying to get into the dealer's room, but I didn't want to wait in line. So I just walked up to the front to see what was going on. And there was no line for the dealer's room.
And this poor person was in a line that was probably 45 minutes long.
Oh, yeah.
The convention was really forced to pick and choose
Yeah.
Even though it may not have been the best for traffic-wise, but that's what they had to deal with.
But that's also why I've never really heard of this hotel hosting an anime convention or
Yeah.
any kind of event for that matter.
Yeah. Speaking of the dealer's room and the artist alley, how'd you feel about it?
I thought it was pretty good. It was better than Doki Dokkan for
Yes.
sure. The layout was a lot nicer and a lot more easier to navigate. I saw a lot of dealers that were the typical dealers, the t-shirts, the merchandise, the body pillows, the DVDs,
Yeah.
all of that. It was really nice. I liked it.
The dealer's hall was pretty decent. It fit the size of the convention. Besides it being hot as balls, I don't really have too many complaints about it. Of course, most of Friday was super hot. It felt like the hotel turned down the AC to save money. I wasn't even in cosplay yet, and I was sweating just walking
yeah.
around the convention as soon as I got there. Then we went to the dealer's room, and it was hot. I couldn't even imagine what it felt like to be in full costume.
And I was wearing a mask at the time, and I was just sweating in my mask.
Yeah.
When we actually got to check in the hotel, I had to take a whole shower and reapply my makeup that I was already wearing.
Yeah, that part. Once we got into the room and we wanted to change into cosplay, had to shower.
Yeah.
Had to shower and start the day all over because if walking around the hot ass hotel wasn't enough, that long journey to the car had you sweating already. And we only made one trip. We only took what we needed for that day. I left some of my camera stuff in the car. I'm just like, if someone steals it, screw it. I'm
Yeah.
not coming back out. It's too hot.
Whatever I don't fit right now in my arms, I'm not coming back for it.
We didn't check out too many of the panels, so I don't really have much thoughts on that except just seeing the lines. We did, however, check out what some of the nightlife of the con had to offer. I was just curious to see if room parties were going to be happening so soon. Of course, Chicago didn't let us down because the room parties were out of control.
Oh, yeah.
For a con so small, there was a lot of room parties where random room numbers were being tossed in the air. One room party was some people we didn't even know. One of my friends actually texted me because he heard we were at the convention. He thought we were going to have a get-together. He was like, yo, so-and-so said you're at the con. What room are you in? Are you guys doing anything? I'm like, nah, it's just Shana and I and two of our friends. And then he's like, oh, I thought you were having a party because I wanted to leave the party I was at to go somewhere else. I was like, what room are you in? And then he tells me, we head to that party. We noticed there's a line out front and there's two people checking ID, one being this girl who's trying to explain to us what's going on in there. And then, of course, somebody comes out. That's Renji and Shana. Let them in. I know them. They good. You know, this is my party. Welcome, guys. Welcome. My girl here is going to tell you what's going on, but I'll see you guys inside. And then the people behind us are just getting salty like, oh, Renji and Shana, whoever they are. They just had that look.
As per usual.
If they weren't dicks about it, we could have just said they was with us. But no, there was dicks, so we just let them sit there. Note that for next time, if someone in front of you just gets let in because people recognize them, be nice and maybe they'll be like, yo, they with me because we've done that before.
Yeah.
Just to save people from the waiting. Anyways, this girl breaks down the party for us. If you guys are looking for drinks, they're in the bathroom, in the bathtub. Just help yourself. We opened that door, and what do we see?
We saw a whole bunch of dudes. Mind you, there was a small group of girls. I want to say like 2, maybe 3. And they looked like they were in their own little cult because they had little markings under their eye. It looked like a power sign, you know, with like the half circle and the line. When I saw one girl have it, I looked at all of them. I'm just like, oh, nice tattoo. And I looked at all of them like, oh, you guys are in a cult, aren't you?
The craft.
The craft. Yeah, there was just a lot of dudes, more dudes than anything. It was just a sausage fest.
Sausage fest, someone bringing the sauerkraut and the buns. Well, unfortunately, Shana brought the buns because she got so much ass, and she just walked in, and obviously she was a magnet. While my friends and I made our way to the bathroom to see what drinks they had in the bathtub, just because we were curious. I don't know what Shana was doing, so Shana can tell her story later. We walk in the bathroom. The bathroom is packed full of people. And I'm just looking in the bathtub. And we reach in this bathtub. Pretty genius. Ice and water. Instant cooler, right? I reach in there. Just grab a can of beer. I've never seen imitation Aldi brand beer in my life. This shit just said beer. It was like a plain green can. It said beer.
Wow.
No brand name. We reached in there again and this said cider beer. I'm like, wow. This is like knockoff beer or something. And then there was one lone bottle of very cheap vodka. How I know it was cheap. So they had a 1.5 liter bottle of cheap vodka that was plastic. When a large amount of alcohol comes in plastic, it is cheap. You'll get a hangover and throw up on yourself. Cheap, cheap. In con fashion, of course there was a big bottle of stank vodka. My friend and I are just trying to vlog and crack jokes and just have fun in our videos. And then this dude comes in there like he's platinum rapper, superstar, about to shoot a music video. Excuse me, guys, move. I need to grab a bottle real quick. This dude grabs the bottle like he's Jay-Z at the Super Bowl, starts waving in the air. I'm like, bruh, you waving around a $9 bottle of vodka and acting like you Jay-Z.
Exactly $9.
My friends and I are just shaking our head like, do you, bruh? If this is your moment, this is your moment. All right, so now let's shift the camera over to Shana and see what she's doing during this time.
So I'm wearing Princess Hibana. I'm like dressed head to toe, looking all nice. I got a nice white bodycon dress on, my pink hair. I got my coat on. Luckily, I had my coat on still, my Fire Force coat on. So I had, I was saving my booty for later,
Yeah.
So I walk in immediately. All eyes are on me because there's nothing but dudes there. And I'm just walking around looking for you because I was trying to see that infamous tub of alcohol. So I'm walking around, and then immediately people were flocking to me, coming to talk to me. Hey, what's your name? Where are you from? Who are you? What's going on? Like all like 46 questions. And I'm just like, I think I should go now. I was not ready for everybody to be in my face at the same damn time.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be there at all because honestly, it's still a pandemic. Like I just wanted to see what this party was and to see how people, react during like room parties and things of that nature. So I just wanted to see it for myself. But I wasn't there to like chill. I wasn't there to make friends. I wasn't there to talk to people and be amongst the sausage fest. I was just trying to make my way through and then make my way back out,
Yeah. Yeah, we were legit there for research and work reasons.
Yeah.
Just like Shana said, I just wanted to go just to see how comfortable people are. Like I said in the previous podcast, I'm going to start throwing parties and hosting events in the Midwest again. So I just wanted to see where the community was, if they would even come out.
When it comes to other people's alcohol and their room parties as well, I tend not to drink other people's stuff just because a lot of it is just trash. A lot of alcohol that I did see over the weekend was Everclear for some reason. I don't know why Everclear and not even Absolute Vodka, but, the other vodka, Svetka. I don't know why those two were the stars of the whole convention, but they were.
Easy answer. Because weebs just want to get drunk and they don't want to spend no money. And a lot of weebs don't really drink like that, so they only have one goal in mind. I want to get drunk, and I don't care how I do it. Sometimes a big bottle of stank vodka is the way to go, or Everclear because it's so strong that it's going to get you messed up. So that's why they go for that. But yeah, we was there in and out. We were just trying to do some research, get some video footage, and be out because that room was gross. It was wall-to-wall gross. If y'all want to check out what that room looked like, the vlog will be up soon. So go to my personal YouTube channel, Fanservice Renji, and you will see video from Anime Magic, including that stank party and the next one we're about to talk about. We leave that party. We go back to our room to reset and breathe again. Find out about another party. Happens to be somebody I know. Start heading to his room. Again, he had door people. Trying to be responsible, checking IDs, make sure everyone's 21 and up. And then he comes out and he's like, oh, Renji, I didn't know you were coming. I was like, well, somebody told someone that told me that you were having a room party. So I just wanted to come check it out. Just trying to see what's going on and just trying to get some vlog footage. He's like, yeah, come in. Going there, not as busy. Once again, shit alcohol, but we noticed one bottle of like Everclear that nobody was drinking. There was a Kylo Ren that thought he was a badass and drank it. What happened to him?
I'm in this party just trying to stay away from people. I'm just like hugged on the wall, just like, Nope. I see this Kylo Ren. You can see it in his eyes that he is well past his prime from when he should have stopped drinking. He probably should have stopped drinking like 6 hours ago from the look in his eyes. But he's twirling around his lightsaber and like nearly hitting me in the face. I'm just like, oh shit. Like I'm just stuck to the wall trying to get out the way. So this Kylo Ren sees the bottle of Everclear. I see him put the bottle in his mouth, but the cap was still on it. I'm like, yeah, you should probably not drink that because you look like you've gone already. So then I turn away for a minute, but then I turn back around and I see all of what he drank just flood out of his mouth and like onto the front of himself. And I'm just like, if this room party wasn't already moist and damp, you're making it worse by having this shit fall out of your mouth. You probably shouldn't be drinking that shit in the first place.
He's fallen to the dark side.
I'm like, oh, there goes Kylo Ren. He's gone now.
The Force was definitely not with him because he was gone. He turned and looked at me at some point like he was trying to say something. I just saw his lips move and more liquid just coming out of his mouth.
Oh.
It was like the lips were moving and just liquid coming out of his mouth. Luckily, it wasn't throw up. Like, what are you secreting right now? Like, what is this liquid coming out of your mouth? It was kind of creepy. It's like when you watch a horror movie and somebody gets stabbed and they turn to you and they're like, before they die and blood comes out their mouth.
Yeah.
I just kind of like sidestep, like, okay, Kylo, have a good night.
I know. I'm like, uh-oh, Kylo Ren's dead. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, and that's when we kind of made our exit. Well, Shana already was out the door, and I saw her leaving. I'm like, oh, shit, guys, we better go, because Shana's out the door, because we thought something happened. So
something did happen. Kylo Ren was exploding from the inside.
Kylo Ren was, yeah, he definitely was. So then we headed out the door after Shana, and then all of a sudden, everyone decided to follow us, a group of people.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I'm like, why is everybody coming with us now? And then next thing I know, one of my friends and then his friend came behind me, and then now we're playing guess what flavor of rice each of us Asians are. One of the dudes like, you'll never guess what I am. I don't care what you are. I don't even know you, dude. Like, when did you get here? At first, I thought I was just standing next to this guy I know, and then this other bigger Asian comes. I don't know what flavor of rice you are, but I'm sure your mother fed you a lot of it because you are a huge, swole Asian kid right now. Like, why are you so big but with the face of a 10-year-old? Anyways, we all cram in the elevator, and then everyone just goes to the lobby for some reason. That was only the 2 room parties that we went to. As you're going throughout the con and throughout the night, you just keep hearing about more and more room parties.
Yeah.
That con was way too lit for it being that small. It had no business being that lit.
I know, it really did. Oh, and one quick note before we end this segment. The other reason why I was trying to leave that party in such a hurry before Kylo Ren exploded, there was this one guy. He was already well past his prime as well. He had this oversized fishbowl cup that was meant for like margaritas or something, and it was full of this red liquid. And the reason why I knew he was past his prime because he was like doing one of these where he was just like whirling around, and as he's whirling around, this red substance in his glass was also whirling around, and he happened to be on the other side of me. Kylo Ren was on my right. This guy was on my left. This dude's just steadily whirling around. I'm wearing a white dress for Hibana from Fire Force. So as he's whirling around, I'm like going around and like, whoa, dude, like stop twirling near me. It's like I have done so well not to get this white dress dirty. I've done so well. I've done everything in my power to stay clean. I am not about to have this drunk boy spill this red substance on me. I don't even know what it was. He probably thought he was drinking something special, but I think it was just Kool-Aid, honestly. But
Kool-Aid and dank vodka.
Yeah, he was looking like Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Just over here, just twirling around. I'm like, you know what? I gotta go because I am not about to get dirty off of some $6.99 thing of vodka and Kool-Aid.
The Weebles wobble and don't fall down, but he definitely was going to fall down soon. The way he was looking, I did see him too, because at some point he had it raised in the air.
Yeah.
I thought it was a prop until I saw the liquid move.
I was like, whoa. I was doing like my ninja moves. I was like, oh, hell no.
And Shana did do a good job of keeping her dress white. Because fun fact, when Shana wears white and I know we're going to go somewhere where she's going to get dirty, I'm always like, you sure you want to wear that? You know we're going out to Korean barbecue. Oh. Maybe I shouldn't.
You're right.
I know.
And actually, nowadays, I don't even own anything white because of that fact.
Yeah.
So when I saw this dude whirling around, I'm like, no, I got to exit right now because I still got to wear this dress for tomorrow. So, I kind of want to keep it clean.
Always a disaster when Shana wears white.
Oh, my God.
But speaking of disasters, let's move forward to the main event of anime magic that caught all the headlines this weekend. It's Saturday night. People are getting ready for the rave or the late night stuff. A couple of my friends up in my room, we're just having a couple of drinks, just chatting. We finally decide to make our way to the lobby because we're trying to check out the rave, just trying to see what's going on for the night. We get off the elevator and there's Rosemont PD all over the place. There's a commotion. We're wondering what the hell's going on. All we're hearing is, y'all gotta go back to your room. The con is shut down. No one official is telling us this. It's just security and other cosplayers telling us. And of course, we're all like, hell no, we're not gonna leave until someone official says something. Everyone's just standing around now. We just keep hearing the same thing. Keep hearing, y'all gotta go, and there's police presence everywhere. Let's be honest. If y'all have gone to Anime Central, seeing police in Rosemont at an anime convention isn't anything new.
Yeah.
You see police officers, you see the ambulance show up at Anime Central at the hotel across the street. You kind of shrug it off. You're like, it's only the second ambulance. Who cares? It's kind of a thing. For those that don't know, Chicago anime convention kids go hard.
Oh, they do.
They go hard. And it wouldn't be an Anime Central
I was
without
going to see.
somebody going to the hospital. Without seeing 3 or 4 ambulances throughout the weekend. Us being Chicago kids, we're just like, eh.
I immediately thought that as soon as they were trying to not let us go from the elevator to the lobby area, it wasn't even anyone official. Again, like Renji said, it was just people that had seen it and was coming back to the elevator area. And we're just like, pish posh. We're just going to go forward. But the reason why I would have stayed back is because the only time a hotel is going to tell you not to go forward or not to go down a certain hallway or to go back to your room, it's because someone's died or there's an accident that they can't clear up right away and they don't want people to interfere. So that's really the only reason why a hotel would tell you to do that. So I'm half thinking the worst and half being a Chicago kid and just being like, oh, whatever. I didn't want to believe anything until I officially saw it myself.
Y'all probably wondering what actually happened. As of the time of this recording, we still don't know what officially happened. The hotel has not made a statement. The convention has not made an official statement, though Anime Magic did get on their social media that night saying, we will address this issue and make an official statement soon. We still haven't heard anything. The following that I'm about to tell you is just the bits and pieces that us cosplayers have put together based on the evidence that we had to find on our own. No thanks to anyone else involved except us cosplayers. From what we know, the start of this whole situation began at the drag show that happened on Saturday night. A Twitch streamer filmed the whole drag show from start to finish. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe how you pronounce their name is Yadream J. It's spelled Yadreamjae. Yadream J. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
That's how it's spelled. And now that same Twitch video has been reposted on YouTube on the Ministry of Otaku YouTube channel. Sean and I watched that entire 48-minute video. We wanted to have some references that was caught on video before we talked about it. I wanted to wait till the convention gave the official statement, but they've taken too long, and I'm trying to talk about it now. So here we go.
In this video, at around the 23-minute mark, you can see a hotel manager walking from the entrance of the room towards the stage, and he has somebody behind him filming him. The manager gets up to the stage. He repeatedly says, "The event is over. We're sorry."
Of course, there's an uproar in the audience. It's hard to make out what he's saying on stage. He doesn't have a microphone. In the video, you hear him repeat himself. "The event is over. We're sorry." At some point, the person that was filming him was a convention staff member. And then he speaks up. He says to the crowd, "This is a hotel manager, and he is telling us that this event and the convention is shut down, but he will not tell us why. All he keeps telling us is we're being shut down. At this point, the crowd is losing it. People are screaming, why? Why are we being shut down? Manager's up on stage. Sorry, it's over. Eventually, he just gets off the stage and walks away like a little bitch.
Then people in the crowd start yelling, is this homophobic? And then they started chanting in unison, hell no, we won't go.
People that were there at the drag show, some of my friends said that it was a very emotional time. There was a lot of younger people there. They felt that was their safe space. A lot of these people were young and they were queer. Some people were crying. They were in tears because they thought this was a safe space for them, and it wasn't.
Right.
And they just didn't know how to process it. At the 32-minute mark, one of the hosts of the drag show gets up on stage and just says, you know what? Screw it. Let's just start the drag show again. They said everything's shut down and we should go, but they never said there's any consequences. So until there's a consequence, why are we going to leave? This person goes as far as saying, this convention is contracted to have this room till 3 a.m. Why are they trying to kick us out at 12 midnight? So then they just fire up the drag show.
So the event goes on, and about the 40-minute mark, the con chair comes on stage and goes, guys, we really need you guys to clear out. We really need you to just do us a favor. Let's just end this. Let's just move on with our night, because now the police are involved and it's out of our hands. We can't do anything else about it. So if you could just comply and just help us clear out this room.
At this point, the crowd is in a super uproar. People are mad at the convention. They're mad at the hotel. Again, they don't understand why they're being shut down. People are complaining, we want our money back. I came here just for this, and just the complaints go on. I get where they're coming from. I feel their pain. We were in the lobby while this was happening.
Yeah.
So we're on opposite ends of this fiasco. We're in the lobby seeing the police, but these people were still in the ballroom trying to watch the drag show. Then I'm feeling for the con director that was there, because he's just trying to just get everyone out. He tried his best to be like, look, guys, we want to address this. Can you please help us out by just complying right now? There's nothing else we can do. We will sort this out, but you guys got to help us. Then in the video, you can just see some people super lit. Hell no, come on, guys, let's go protest. Let's go. Like, people just yelling out the dumbest shit. Like, there's this guy front and center. Nah, screw that. We're going to go party in the lobby. Come on, guys. His friends are like, bro, calm down. Chill out, man. You're not helping. 2 seconds later, let's go party in the patio. And his friend's like, bro, can you sit your dumb ass down right now? You're not helping. But you could see in the video, he just doesn't get it.
Well, where can we go?
Yeah, pretty much. And it was a very uncomfortable situation for the performers, the crowd. That brings you up to this question. What do you do in that situation? As angry as you are as an attendee, if it's clearly not the fault of the convention, you got to just comply. Help the convention out. Just believe they will do the best they can to do the right thing, if that means giving you back some of your money. But in that situation, the crowd clearly saw the hotel manager come and shut that shit down.
Yeah.
Work with the convention, y'all. I get that y'all were mad and y'all felt the time, because we were mad in the lobby.
Yeah.
We were mad that not only did that drag show get shut down, they shut down everything for that night. They went down to the game room, shut that down afterwards. Some people thought only the drag show was shut down. It started with the drag show. Allegedly, hotel management said they don't care if they break their contract. We're shutting this event down right now at midnight. Y'all were supposed to be out at midnight. People were yelling, contract. Again, allegedly, hotel management said, we don't care, contract or not, y'all are done right now. And I have to believe that there's some truth to that, because Anime Magic made a tweet the next morning or later that night saying, hey guys, the convention is not closed today. We are reopening at 8 a.m. So when you read something like that, it means that the convention was shut down at some point. Why would you have to announce that? No. We are opening back up. The key word, back up. That means it's shut down and they're reopening if they're opening back up. So it's like, okay, so the hotel did say, y'all are done. Convention is done right now at midnight. I know you'll have Sunday plans. Screw you guys. When no one's given us official words, that's all we have to go off of.
I just thought the entire situation, from my standpoint, was handled very poorly. when we made it to the lobby, when we actually made it to the lobby, we weren't even allowed to go past a certain point because after the lobby, that's where, if you turn the corner to the left, that's where everything was happening. But we weren't even allowed to go past that threshold. We can either leave the hotel or go back towards the elevators and maybe down to the lower lobby or whatever. I only heard something officially, but not officially, from one of the police officers that happened to be walking around. He didn't really understand what was going on either. You could tell just by how he was speaking. Because if you ever heard a police officer give any kind of official information, he's straight to the point, cut dry, and then he just leaves. This guy was kind of like, well, this is what the hotel wants to do. They want you guys to go back to your rooms if you have nothing to do here. But as of right now, everything is shut down for the night. So either go back to your room or leave. Me and along with other people that were in the vicinity were just like, wait, what do you mean by that? And he's just like, don't get mad at me. I'm just a messenger. I'm just passing along information. And then people were challenging him like, well, you're not really giving us official information. You're just saying what you think is going on. And then he's just like, you know what? He just like pretty much wiped his hands of it and just left. He's like, this isn't my fault. This isn't my thing. So I'm just going to go. If you have a problem, ask the hotel manager, ask the hotel staff. Because people were just like grilling him. It's like, it's not his problem. It's not his hotel. But, he was just doing what he had to do. But it wasn't anything official.
The hotel knew they had no grounds to call the police.
Yeah.
From my assumptions, the Rosemont PD showed up and they're just like, nothing illegal is happening here.
Yeah.
You can't make us arrest anybody. You can't make us force people to leave. Mm-hmm. Some of these people have rooms here. You need to determine who has a room here and who doesn't. And once you establish who can't be here, then you can file charges. But right now, nothing illegal has happened. You're hosting an event, and this is a civil matter. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of, you said they're done at midnight. Their contract says 3 a.m. Mm-hmm. What is it? We can't arrest anybody because nothing has happened. And technically, it's not 3 a.m, so we can't even kick them out because the contract has ended for the night. And we can't kick out your hotel patrons because a hotel runs 24 hours a day. So what are we supposed to do? And then the police just left.
Yeah.
It just looked like a waste of time. The hotel was just looking stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, and just for the record, with this whole incident, I just want to say that I don't fault Anime Magic at all. So don't think we're talking about them.
Yeah.
This falls directly on the management and the staff of the Crown Plaza Ohare in Rosemont. So if y'all feel a type of way about your fellow peers in the cosplay community getting mistreated, or if y'all feel for the people who are performing and attending the drag show, make sure you reach out to the management at the Crown Plaza Ohare and tell them how you feel. Someone at that hotel needs to get fired for all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people at that hotel need to be held accountable for that. And right now, they're just wiping their hands clean. Anime Magic, at the time of this recording, is still trying to gather evidence of what happened that day, and I'm sure they're trying to sort it out legally, but we all know the legal system takes forever, but social media and Google reviews and Yelp reviews do not. Us as a community, we can make things happen right now if enough people just start contacting this hotel and just leaving feedback. That was a very messed up incident. No one has made a statement why. The hotel never even said why convention was getting shut down. So there's some sketchiness to it. There's talks of homophobia because they didn't like the drag show. There's talks of contract breach. Someone messed up somewhere, but even from a hotel standpoint, from a business standpoint, let's give the hotel the benefit of the doubt, saying the contract went on until midnight. It's been a pandemic. Y'all hurting for money. Just bill Anime Magic for 3 more damn hours. What difference would it made if the convention ended at midnight or 3 a.m? Just send them a bill. Y'all need the money. That's how most hotels work anyway. If you go over in time and they don't have someone else coming in, they'll let you be in the room. I've hosted enough events. I've also worked behind the scenes at enough hotel events. If no one else is booking that room after you, you can stay there as long as you want and the hotel will just bill you because they want the money.
Yep.
That would have been the easy solution if it was contract only. But it wasn't. I personally think it was some personal issue that the hotel had with either the drag show or convention goers in general. So either way, they had a problem with our peers being there, and they just didn't want to accept it anymore. Or they bit off more than they can chew. They're like, we didn't know it was going to be this crazy. Because back to the room parties, during that same time, the hotel did take advantage of the police being there to shut down room parties. but that was about the most effectiveness of having the police there. A lot of these are speculations, don't quote me, but this is just what we observed while we're there and what we gathered based on videos that were present.
From my perspective, I just didn't like how the hotel operated from the time that we got there until the time we left. It was very unorganized. The staff just seemed like they were super underprepared. Regardless if there's a pandemic or not, you should still know how to maneuver an event like this, and especially being as big as this event became to be, they should have had some kind of execution plan. Like, they should have just made it a lot smoother. There was things that they could do in their control that would have made this go a lot better. And I just felt like the things that they could have done, they just didn't do or couldn't do for whatever reason. But I just felt like the whole thing from start to finish could have been operated a lot smoothly. From their attitudes, from the parking situations, from making everybody check in at 3 p.m. when you could see like the whole lobby was filling up pretty quick. When people were just standing around waiting for the time to check in, you could see from even where they were standing that this was going to be a really big deal this weekend. I didn't appreciate how there wasn't a lot of security. There wasn't a lot of people handling line situations and crowd control. There was just a lot that I'm used to when it comes to just bigger corporations. There's little things like handling a line or handling things on time. It just would have been so much better and it would have ran so much smoothly, but it is what it is. It's like shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's all said and done now.
With the topic we're about to get into next, it's not a surprise why hotel management was so shitty and they did what they did. Shana is about to get into a whole nother drama that happened at the same hotel a few years ago. People quickly forgot about this horrific incident. If that happened and the hotel's still in business today, why is it even a surprise that they shut down a drag show at an anime convention, not caring if they broke the contract or not?
So this next story I'm going to tell you guys is one that you've probably heard of. It made headlining news, and it happened right here at the Crown Plaza Rosemont Hotel. This story is about a girl named Kanika Jenkins. I won't get into all the details because I just wanted to shine light around the aspects of the hotel rather than all of the aspects of what exactly happened to her. So basically, she was going to this room party at the Crown Plaza with 3 of her friends for a birthday party. But she failed to mention that to anybody else that she knew, like her family. Like, she told her family that she was going somewhere else, like bowling or a movie or whatever with her friends. She goes to this party, and there was at least 30 people at this room party. They were on the 9th floor at the Crown Plaza. This party just went from bad to worse with how many people were actually showing up, and people were all in the hotel room, but they were also trickling outside of the hotel room, and they were just causing a ruckus. There was so much noise complaints during this night. People were trying to report this room because there was just so much going on, but the hotel didn't do anything about it. They got all the complaints and pretty much just let the party happen. They didn't go upstairs to tell them anything. They just kind of let it happen. So that's red flag number 1. And I can kind of see that from being at the hotel ourselves, because all the room parties that went on that night or during the weekend, they weren't shut down at all. And they were crazy. Even after the police supposedly handled them during Saturday night when the drag show was happening, I still heard people partying all night long when I was trying to sleep that night. So it kind of makes sense. So throughout this party, Kanika Jenkins, she was drinking heavily. Regardless of that, she wasn't seen to be, she didn't seem any different, and she didn't seem to her friends like she was any different. So nothing went wrong to them. Like, the rest of the night just went smoothly. Her three friends and Kanika end up leaving the party after around an hour and a half after being at the party. They left at around 3 in the morning. So her and her 3 friends make it to the elevator. And Kanika realizes that she doesn't have her phone and she doesn't have her house keys. Her 3 friends were like, okay, I got you. We'll go back to the party and just get your keys and your phone for you. But you stay here by the elevator. That's red flag number 2. Like, this girl's been drinking all night. Like, why would you have her just stay by herself by the elevators? It's like, if it's her stuff, why wouldn't she just go get it herself? But their excuse was, well, the party was a sausage fest and they didn't want her to be in trouble or anything like that, so they just went ahead and just got her stuff. They are in this party again for another 10 or so minutes. They get her stuff, everything's cool. They get back to the elevator, and Kanika is nowhere to be seen. The three friends are looking for Kanika everywhere. Even before they even get to the front desk, they're looking for this girl. They're looking to see if she's in the hallways. They look in all the bathrooms. They look pretty much everywhere. And then they finally get to the front desk manager. You can see from the surveillance footage that they're speaking to the front desk person, and the person's pointing towards an area like off to the side. Like they're trying to say like, oh, maybe she went to the lower level, because where the lobby is where the lobby is. But then you go underneath where the stairs are, there's like a separate area underneath. He's kind of like pointing generally towards like she went down that way or whatever. But since there's no audio, they really couldn't decipher what they were saying. So for a whole hour, Kanika's friends are looking everywhere, just checking the lower levels. They're looking like in the parking structure. They go outside to see if she's at the car or somewhere. They were searching for her for a good 2 hours before they actually call Kanika's mother and get her involved. So they go to Kanika's mother's house, and they end up bringing the mother back to the hotel to help them search. The first thing the mother does is go up to the front desk, and she's asking, is there any way you guys could show me the surveillance footage? Like, they're saying my daughter was drunk, she could be disoriented. Like, we don't know where this girl is, so if you could just please help us figure out where my daughter is, that would be great. Right off the bat, the person working the front desk was very dismissive. They're telling the mother, no, we can't do that because we don't have access to the surveillance footage. They're being all nonchalant, like, oh no, your daughter's probably fine. If she's been drinking, she probably went somewhere to a room or whatever to, kind of let the alcohol pass, and maybe she's taking a nap somewhere. So they're being very dismissive, being kind of rude, being standoffish or whatever, not trying to help the situation at all. And from that aspect alone, when it comes to surveillance footage, you as a person might not have access to it, or might not have like the password to go and like search through the footage yourself. But there's always, at least in my experiences working retail and working at the hotel, there's always someone in the building that can go and access the footage should you just ask them to. So I kind of call BS on that. There's always someone there to help you access footage, because what if someone got murdered, or what if something actually happened? They would need to see the footage right away. So I kind of call BS on that. So right off the bat, the staff is not being helpful. The mother ends up looking for Kanika herself. She's going everywhere. She's retracing all of the steps that she might have happened to go through. She looks through all the bathrooms, all the hallways, goes everywhere around this hotel. Nobody in the hotel, staff-wise, is helping them at all. They're just letting them wander around. Long story short, they end up spending so much time looking for Kanika. Other people of Kanika's family is trying to help out because no one else is helping them. So they're passing out the pictures of Kanika and what she looks like to the other patrons of the hotel. The family even go as far as pulling the fire alarm in the building. So just in case Kanika was still in the building, she would come out. Or if she was, back at the room party or back wherever she was, she would come out. That was no go at all. That didn't even help. The hotel staff after that was just annoyed with them. They were so annoyed by them just, being in the lobby and disturbing the patrons and just being a hassle to deal with. We're looking for our daughter. Like, you don't understand. You're not doing anything to help, so we have to do it ourselves. So the hotel staff, again, just with the attitude, they end up calling the cops on this family so they could be exited out of the hotel because they're causing such a ruckus in the hotel looking for their daughter. They called the police to escort the family out of the hotel, but not to help. They wanted these people out of the hotel. And they're just like, well, what can we do? You're not helping, so what can we really do about the situation right now? Kanika goes missing on the 8th of September. Her body is found 2 days later on September 10th in one of the lower level kitchen walk-in freezers of the hotel. One of the staff members went into the freezer at the time and just found her body inside the freezer. The door was locked from the inside. I guess like the way that it was, you could only open it from the outside, but you couldn't open it from the inside. At the time, the hotel had two kitchens. One of them was for, what they could use for the time, but they had a second kitchen because they were doing renovations. So the second kitchen was the one that they found Kanika's body in was mostly vacant except for the fridge. The fridge was open and functioning because the hotel staff explained, well, if we needed to use more storage for the food and things like that, we could use it. So that's why the fridge was on, even though the entire kitchen was empty. I guess they were just very lax about their security down there. They're just like, we're doing renovations. We got to be in and out all the time. The reason why they found her 2 days later is because nobody was in that kitchen at the time. It was vacant. Nobody really went in there like that. So during this time, one of the staff members had just happened to be down there. Thank goodness, but it was already too late. Her body was found. From the surveillance footage, Kanika was stumbling in the hallways. She was going from one side to the other. She looked like she had no business being down there in the first place. I don't know, from, drinking too much or just whatever was going on with her. She just seemed very out of it and very confused and was just wandering the halls. And because that kitchen was open, she could have just gone in there without anyone being there and just found herself in the freezer. It just happened so easily.
What was the official cause of death?
The official cause of death was hypothermia. It looked like someone had pulled her shirt up and one of her shoes was off and she had no sock on or anything like that. And it just looked like she collapsed in there because of how her body was found. And it looked like she had been there for quite some time and just couldn't get out of the freezer.
So they just ruled it as she froze to death?
They ruled it as an accident. From what they saw from the cameras, she pretty much was just free to roam around. She was very disoriented. She just looked like she didn't know what she was doing. She didn't have any motive or anything. She was just wandering and just found herself in the freezer. And from what they said about her drinking a lot, and further autopsy showed that there was a substance in her body that would have made her confused and made her just very loopy and not really herself. So that was also a cause of death as well, or it was a cause to why she was acting weird, going towards the lower level of the hotel and just wandering around like she didn't know what she was doing. All of those factors put into it, they kind of just ruled it as an accident.
To me, that sounds like a lot of negligence on the hotel's part. Someone could just wander in anywhere.
How the hotel was set up, it looked like there was a lot of open space, especially in the lower level, because we did go down to the lower level and we were in this area where pockets of people were just kind of just chilling, just away from people. But then if you go down farther down a hallway, you would have ended up somewhere else. But we didn't go that far because we could see that there was nobody down there. It was just, again, negligence of the hotel. They just were nonchalant about it. People could just wander wherever they want and not know where they are.
Especially it being the kitchen. That's where you have food.
Yeah.
You could get people sick. There's lawsuits all over the place if someone just wanders in the kitchen and starts touching everything, or they throw up. If a drunk person shows up and messes things up, you would think a hotel would keep an eye on certain areas. Again, someone could just go there, steal food or supplies. It's Chicago. There's a lot of shady people. There's homeless people too. So anything could happen. So you would think if security had to keep an eye anywhere, they would kind of watch these areas. The other part that's scary is if someone can get intoxicated and just wander to the freezer so easily. You go back and think about some of our peers who do party hard, or just people that go to Rosemont for an event, say there's a concert, and they get super drunk and they just wander into the kitchen so anybody can just end up freezing and dying. The hotel got to do better than that.
And that's not to say anything about hotels in general. When I used to work for my hotel, they would be so quick to lock up things like that, like freezers and storage containers and things like that right away. As soon as everyone's done for the day, they locked it up and nobody had access to that area until the next day. Even after a certain time, if you're staying there overnight, you can't order food. You can't order certain things after a certain time. The kitchen's closed, like how they always say, the kitchen is closed for sure. Because there's times when I would get to the kitchen early the next morning and things would still be locked. So there was no way that, like, if she had been at the hotel that I worked at or any other hotel, I would suggest, she wouldn't have had that problem. Nobody would have that problem. Hotels don't just leave things open like that. I understand from my experience working at a hotel, things can happen so quick. Someone can just walk through the hotel and you would never know unless you're really paying that much attention to the cameras. But it can happen so quick. And I think in this situation, because there wasn't anyone else around during the time that Kanika was walking around the hotel, nobody would have caught her. But that's the thing. If nobody's going to be down there, why do you have that whole area open for anyone to just go down and explore?
So what was the end result of all that? Nothing? I'm sure the hotel just walked away free?
The way that they found her, and because they couldn't see past that freezer that she was in. The cameras didn't go past that part, so they didn't see exactly what happened when she got in there. But the hotel deemed it as just an accident because at the time there was nobody else in the hotel. From the footage that you see that they finally released, there's nobody following her. There's no one around. So they just deemed it as an accident. Like, she just ended up in the freezer, and that was that.
So what did the friends and family think? Did they accept that it was just an accident, or did they
Of
just
course
think
not.
it was foul play?
They thought it was foul play just because of how they found her. Her shirt was lifted up. She was laying on the ground. Her shirt was lifted up. One of her shoes was off of her foot. And she had some kind of a contrusion to her ankle. And there was like a bit of blood on her ankle. And they were thinking maybe someone was trying to traffic her, or she was trying to meet up with somebody and it went wrong. Or they just had all these speculations, but because they couldn't see exactly how she got in there, they think that there was somebody like beyond the cameras that they couldn't see. When I was a receiver for the hotel, I had to go in and out of freezers all the time, and there's always this lip, like on where the door jamb closes and everything. There's always this thing on the floor that's kind of raised where the door and the wall connect, and a lot of those times, if you're not paying attention, you will trip over it. And the way that she was found, it looked like she tripped over this little thing and just ended up on the side, because she was like, her body was on the side of the freezer. So it looked like she tripped over that thing, and then just, that was it. It looked like an accident. It really did look like an accident. I mean, you can have all the speculations you want, and that's why I didn't really get into all the other details of what was going on with the situation. But to me, it looked like an honest mistake. If the hotel would have taken the mother seriously and had they shown the footage right away, that would have only been within a few hours of her making it to the freezer, and they would have been able to find her right away.
Yeah, those are facts right there. Regardless of how she ended up there,
Yeah.
they could have found her and she could have been saved. Within a few hours, she would still be alive.
Yeah. Because I think if she had tripped, the alcohol and everything else being in her system, she probably just passed out and just never woke back up. That's what I think happened. So had they did what the mother wanted them to do and show them the footage, she would have still been around long enough for them to help her out.
To bring it back to anime magic, one person on my Facebook had brought up a good point. If the Crown Plaza O'Hare can cover up a death like that and sweep it up under the rug to make everyone forget, why are we surprised that they would shut down a drag show, shut down an anime convention, and be unapologetic about it? And to be honest, even I forgot about that happening until she mentioned it. When I read that, I was like, holy shit, she's right. This is the same hotel that the girl died in.
Man, I wish I could have remembered, though. I wish I could have really remembered that.
Nobody remembered except her and a handful of people after the fact.
Yep.
I appreciate her saying that, but where was this woke shit before the convention? That would have prevented a lot of people from going, or at least having them remember.
Yeah.
But of course, people like to talk shit after the fact, though they supposedly had this knowledge the whole time.
Cecil Hotel.
Exactly. Cecil Hotel, girl in the water tower.
Yeah.
Check out the special on Netflix.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. She's right, though. If they could just move on from this,
Yeah.
why are we surprised they did what they did? They just didn't care that this mother was missing a daughter in their hotel. So why would they care that a bunch of weebs were upset? A bunch of people at the drag show were mad. They don't care.
No.
They're just going to sweep it under the rug until someone really comes at them with a real lawsuit or puts them in any real financial danger. And that's the unfortunate truth when it comes to these kind of situations. It's like the little person against his corporation, and unless you fight hard enough, nothing's going to happen. Unless you get media attention, even though this was big media news, it came and went so quickly.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the attitude at Anime Magic. It's the same attitude they had with this girl in the freezer. There was clear concerns. There was clear things to be addressed, such as the party getting out of control.
And there are things like with this whole Kanika Jenkins thing where instead of just showing them the footage, they let these poor people walk around the entire hotel bother the other patrons of the hotel with showing the pictures of Kanika and what she looked like and seeing if anyone had any information. Instead of trying to help them, like all you had to do is show them the footage and everything would have been squashed. No, they chose to call the police on this family because they were being too much of a nuisance in the hotel. And the police didn't do anything after that either. They're just like, oh, if you guys find out any new information to, give us some more leads, then, we'll help you after that. Like, isn't that your job?
That's the same bullshit management energy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same manager
Yeah.
who worked back then as right now. So again, no surprise that they just handled this shit the way they did. Anyways, with that in mind, there are conventions happening in Rosemont coming up. Maybe you want to think twice about staying at the Crown Plaza O'Hare. Anime Central, aka ASIN, will be releasing their room block soon. I know everyone's going to be playing the room Hunger Games. If it comes down to it, most of us will get desperate and book whatever room's available. But just remember, when you book the Crown Plaza O'Hare, think about what we talked about today. Think about what they did at Anime Magic, and think about how they handled this young lady and her family. All right, y'all, that's enough about Anime Magic and the Crown Plaza O'Hare. Before we go, I just want to remind y'all that September 5th, I'm throwing a party in the Chicago area. It will be at the Panic Escape Room in Hoffman Estates. It's going to be a cosplay event, and there will be escape rooms to try out, so make sure y'all come check it out. A lot of y'all are wondering what the hell an escape room is. It's definitely an experience that you can do solo or with your friends. It's pretty much they put you in a room, and you got to figure out how to get out of this room to get to the next room. It's like this live cinematic puzzle thing going on. It's really dope. Panic Escape Rooms has some stuff that no other escape rooms have. So if y'all have never tried an escape room, it's the perfect chance to give it a try because all attendees of my event get like a $10 discount. So now's the best time to try. On top of the escape room experiences, it's going to be a flat-out cosplay event. We got a nice-sized conference room that I'm going to be hosting my party at. We got a gaming room. We might have stuff out in the parking lot. So there's a lot of things for everyone to do. You don't even have to come and try the escape rooms if you don't want to, but we're going to have music, activities. We're going to have drinks. The best part, attending this event is absolutely free. Shana and I are doing this for the community. It's Labor Day weekend. Some of y'all ain't going to Dragon Con. So if y'all in the Chicago area or want to make the drive, come through to my party. It's my welcome back to Chicago party. So just come through and support. Like I said, y'all ain't got shit to do. It's free. It's free to attend. What else can you ask for holiday weekend? It's on Sunday. A lot of y'all ain't doing shit on Monday anyway. A lot of y'all going to be sitting there like, oh, man, I ain't got shit to do Labor Day weekend. Nah, bitch, you do. I'm giving you something to do. So come through the party. Just come and chill. You ain't got to try the escape rooms, but you can put up some cosplay and come hang out with us and a bunch of Chicago folks. It's going to be a great time. And it's free to attend.
And it's going to be lit.
It is going to be lit. All you got to pay for is the escape rooms if you want to do it. Or if y'all trying to have a couple drinky drinks or some, that's it. But if y'all just want to come chill, that's free.
And don't forget, we will also be guests at RamenCon. So if you can't make it to the party, you'll see us again in South Bend, Indiana. We'll be at RamenCon, so check us out.
Come through to RamenCon. South Bend, Indiana, RamenCon is one of my favorite little cons. So make sure y'all come through to that if y'all can't come through to my free party. So
Pay money to see us.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to come see us for free, then pay money to come see us if that makes you feel better. Or come to my free party and just give me money. There, the best of both worlds. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Shinobi Squad podcast. I'm fan service Renji.
I'm Shana Mostella.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.